I'd like to talk about kindness online by using a comment that I received on a video. I made a video about acceptance of our human imperfections by talking about a broken doorbell at my house. And in there I said that if I have 100 appliances and each one of them have a 1% chance of breaking down, then every day I will have a broken down appliance. And Benjamin sent me a kind message pointing out that the math isn't correct. I thought about it, and yes, he's right. I think the percentage should be 0.99 to the power of 100, which is about 63%. But regardless, I want to look at the message and my response to it. The bulk of the message is a comment about the mistake that I made with mathematics. But notice how he prefaced it with the line, "I fully appreciate the message behind this example." And then he ended it by saying, "Please don't take this to mean that I'm mocking your comment." So these lines significantly change the context of the message. But imagine if the comment came without the first and last line. What might my response be? So I might start to get defensive and say, what you're saying is irrelevant to the video. Or I might say more bluntly, your math is also wrong. Then the conversation would have shifted to a harmless comment about mathematics to a heavy emotional exchange. In this case, Benjamin has the ability to significantly change the context by using a lead in to his point and a lead out of it. A lot of comments online, though, do not have these context lines. It could be when we make comments that we're in a hurry, so we'll go straight to the point. Or we're talking to someone who understands the context, but somebody who reads the comment doesn't. Or it could be a young person, a 16-year-old, just starting out on the internet and just sharing a thought about mathematics. There are many different types of people with many different situations participating in online conversations. Today, globally, we have this problem of algorithmic amplification of outrage. And to me, this problem, there are two aspects to it. First is the mechanism. So a lot of authorities are now pushing platforms to address that so that we design systems that doesn't amplify outrage. But my role is the second aspect of it, which is the content itself. Am I putting negativity into the public system for the platforms to amplify, even if it's very mild? Because one mild message is annoyance, 1,000 annoyed messages is outrage. When I receive a message like Benjamin, which is wrapped in kindness, it's easy to respond graciously. But what about when I receive a comment without those context lines, when it's a very blunt correction or a dismissive comment, something that I feel is harsh or is unfair? It is when I feel those emotions, that's when I need to work on. As a father, I'm concerned about the outrage in the world today. The question I ask myself a lot of times is, when someone says something to my children and they're hurt by it, what do I do? Yes, I might need to communicate to the other person that so that they're aware of the impact of their words. But to me as a father, it is more important that I help my children deal with their emotions and find their own kindness in responding. To look at good intent, if it is there, to assume misunderstanding before believing that the other person is malicious, to respond in a way that doesn't feed this cycle of hurt. I especially have to work on my own emotions as a father, so I don't inject my own outrage into the situation. Because if I model defensiveness or outrage on their behalf, they'll learn to do the same, and they'll learn that when they're hurt, the appropriate response is to amplify the hurt, to feed it back into the system. The greatest source of outrage amplification is our hearts when we are hurt. For me, the solution I can work on is to try and receive difficult feedback with grace, how to respond to bluntness with generosity, how to break this cycle rather than perpetuating it. Then maybe we'll be part of a solution rather than the problem. I want to thank you all for the comments you leave on my videos and the spirit of curiosity and kindness you have shared with me. I look forward to our conversation that we continue to have.